Hi guys, you're riding with Marshall once again, and I don't know why you keep coming back, but I do appreciate you, I really do. Well, it's winter and many of you live where the bikes get put away for months. I'm hoping you find a way to cope. Dress warmly. Here in Colorado, we get a few warm days every month to get out and ride, but I'm going to be honest and tell you the following footage was filmed months ago. I've had the opportunity to ride a 2022 Ducati XDiavel S, and I own a Rocket 3 GT. Why compare them? Because they are both labeled as cruisers, even though neither come with luggage, tall windshields, a comfortable pillion position, or, chrome. As I go over the commonalities of both bikes, I'll be riding the Rocket 3 on Colorado's peak-to-peak highway, and I'll ride the Ducati around. Well, just around. Noco Power Sports of Fort Collins let me take it out while they did the first service on the Rocket 3. If you do stop in to Northern Colorado Power Sports, say hi to Eric and Tim if you get a chance. So with a couple thousand miles on my Rocket 3, I have some basis of comparison to any gunslinger that wants a step up to challenge it. Or maybe it was the Rocket 3 that was redesigned to challenge the XDiavel. The XDiavel S was launched, term intended, in 2016. The 2500cc Rocket 3 didn't arrive until 2020. I have a 2021 model, but comparison specs will be of the same year as the XDiavel here, 2022. They're the same specs anyway for the Rocket. I will be giving the three major differences that you should know at the end, so that you can make an informed decision on which one you want. So what do they have that puts them in the same category? They don't look anything alike. Well, both are considered cruisers, but I think muscle bikes should be a category. This arena would feature bikes that are comfortable to ride long distances, while still performing like a machine worthy of their price point. You can't say that about all cruisers. I've seen cruisers with only 60 horsepower asking over $20,000. You're about to see just how close the XDiavel S and the Rocket 3 come to being first cousins. The Rocket 3 GT has 165 horsepower. The XDiavel S has 156 to 160. Depends who you read. Both have forward foot pegs, and that's a bad assumption to make that all cruisers have that. I prefer mids. Both have a seat height around 29 inches. The Rocket 3 GT is 29.5. The Ducati is a bit higher at 29.7. You can throw a leg easily over either one of them. Both have 240mm wide rear tires, although the Ducati is a 17-inch and the Rocket is a 16-inch. Both have a 4.8-gallon tank, 18 liters for you Europeans. I'm gonna say you can roughly get about 180 miles range out of that. Both have excellent Brembo brakes, but look for a rear brake recall on the Rocket 3. Get the recall done, it's worth it. Both are surprisingly comfortable to ride long distances. I say surprisingly because I've had forward pegs on other bikes before that my legs and hips would cramp up after like 50, 60 miles. These don't really stretch your legs out that far. And with the Rocket 3, you can change them to be mid-pegs if you want to pay for that. Both of these bikes will make you giggle when you apply the throttle like you mean it, because both have a 0 to 60 time of under 3 seconds. We're talking like 2.7 seconds, but that's still under 3. And now, here are the differences. They may not make much difference to your ears until you see how they affect my list of the big 3 takeaways at the end. The first difference is the drivetrain, although you'll likely not feel any difference. The Rocket 3 has a shaft drive, very, very minimal maintenance required, like every 10,000 miles. The Ducati has a belt drive. The Diavel was one of the first Ducatis ever to have a belt drive. And ask any Harley rider if they like belts. Sure they do. Belts are fine. They do actually transmit a little more horsepower than a shaft drive. They take a little more maintenance than a shaft drive. Just length adjustment. The front tire of the Rocket 3 GT is a fairly wide 150/80/17. Why 150? Probably to help support the weight of the front end is my guess. Helps balance the engine weight. Not really sure. 150 is not horrible. It's not exactly nimble. The Ducati sports a nimble 120/70/R17. So they both have 17-inch front tires, just the Ducatis are a little thinner. The wheelbase of the R3 is 66 inches. The wheelbase of the Ducati is 63.6 inches. If you started doing the math, you know where I'm going to go soon. The Rocket 3 GT is fairly heavy. It's not Harley Ultra Limited heavy, and that's no comparison anyway. But 648 pounds, I think that's dry, compares to my old Harley V-Rod. I don't find that to be too heavy, though. I have gold wings. The Ducati weighs a mere 492 pounds, or 550 wet. It feels light. The reason why it feels light is coming next. The Rocket 3 has the largest displacement engine sold in production, 2,458 cc's. Let's round it up to 2,500, and you have the same engine displacement as a Subaru Forester. It has 3 inline cylinders, each one larger than one from a Dodge Viper, if you remember those. This gives it the ungodly horsepower and torque combination that can only be bested by the new Rocket 3 Storm Edition. 165 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds of torque. This also defines the Rocket 3's nickname, the Beast. However, Diavel is Bolognese for devil, so there's another similarity between the two. So from a power standpoint, the Rocket 3 wins this contest, right? Well, wait for the summary before running to the dealer. The Ducati has a refined 1262cc Testra Stretta V-twin, as used in the Multistrada 1200. We call them L-twins because the cylinders are spread at an obtuse angle. The engine puts out 156 to 160 horsepower depending on the troubadour singing its accomplishments, and 93.7 pound-foot-cs of torque. Not bad at all for a twin. It uses desmodromic valves to maximize efficiency by eliminating valve floating. This technology has been around since 1896, although not embraced by everyone. To get all that horsepower, the engine uses a fuel-efficient and power-producing compression ratio of 13:1. This means you will be buying premium fuel. This is important because sometimes I buy bikes, and even like this one, where you go to fill it up at the end of the test ride and you don't know what to put in it. There you go. Takes premium. In comparison, the Rocket 3 has a compression ratio of only 10.8:1. At my elevation of 5,000 feet, I can tell you that it runs best and coolest on low-octane gas, although I give it alcohol-free gas when available. Trust me, I've tried it. I put in premium. I can actually feel the engine running hotter and less powerful. In this case, the low-octane gas is going to win this, although with the alcohol-free gas, it's about 87 octane, so even then I lose a little bit. So now the big summary to help you decide which one to buy. Let's go in descending order. Big difference number 3. The Rocket 3 is smooth, with a minimal vibration at times that matches what you'd expect from a 3-cylinder. I'm not going to say it matches a Goldwing smoothness, as nothing will, but it is barely noticeable. The Ducati has a real noticeable chug at times, like the paint cans are out of balance in the shaker. It's like you're in the wrong gear, but you know better. It was so bad I was surprised, because I don't remember this on my Ducati Scrambler. So should you stay away from it for this reason? No, just keep the revs up. Better to high rev a lower gear than to upshift when you normally would with other bikes. Ducati owners, fill us in here in the comments, but I think the Rocket 3 wins this one. The vibration was surprising to me, but it's only sometimes. Big difference number 2, the looks department. Both bikes command attention. The difference is your age, I think. The Ducati XDiavel appears more to the CW network crowd, those under 40. In fact, didn't the Green Arrow ride a Diavel in the TV show Arrow? With its trellis frame and hot pad-sized pillion seat, it fits the more athletic crowd with girlfriends that weigh, nothing. If you are over 40 and your waist measurement is approaching or exceeding 40, you will look more appropriate on the heavier R3. You still won't get Mama to sit on the pillion seat though for long, as the fold-out foot pegs might remind her of some doctor visits. This one is a tie. Looks are subjective anyway, whatever that means. And big difference number 1. And it is a big difference. I mean, it puts the other 2 differences to shame. Big difference number 1 is handling. As someone who has put the Rocket 3 through the Needles Highway and Iron Mountain in the same morning, I can tell you the Rocket 3 handles pretty good for such wide tires. However, the XDiavel S is going to win this one for handling. Even though it's the cruiser class of the Diavel, even though it's longer, it's squatted down, it's still going to handle better than the Rocket 3. Weighing over 100 pounds less than the Rocket, and with a 120 front tire instead of a 150, it steers much tighter. Add to that the couple of inches shorter in wheelbase, and you will certainly be less intimidated in tight turns and S-curves. I don't know the turn radius numbers, but the Ducati will easily do tighter turns. So much so that if there wasn't such a price difference, see here, I would be tempted to make the XDiavel S my next bike. So out of the big 3 diffs, it's a tie. Both bikes are amazing in their own way. Either one will make you feel like a rock star compared to other machines. The XDiavel may have less torque, but with its lighter weight, I didn't notice any less mess in my pants as I launched from a new green light. The XDiavel is the more athletic of the 2. However, if athletics are lower on your list and you want more of a Dodge Hellcat than a Bugatti, the Rocket 3 might be more your speed. Speed. Yeah, that was bad. I'll see myself out. Thanks for watching Riding with Marshall.